Top of the first inning with the Yankees already up 2-0. Matt Noakes made the score 4-0 as he collected for a 2-run home in right field. His second of the season, RBIs 8 and 9 as Mel Hall scored on a home run, and the Yankees led 4-0. But White Sox scored 5 in the second and 2 in the third, capped off by Dan Pasqua's solo home run in right field, his first of the season, and the White Sox led 6-4 in the bottom of the third. Sac Fly made the score 7-4. Then in the top of the fourth inning, the Yankees got back a run when Jesse Barfield connected for a solo home run to left field, his second of the season, his 7th RBI, and the White Sox lead was cut to 7-5. Later in the fourth, though, the Yankees tied up the game when Steve Sachs, single right field. On the play, Alvaro Espinosa scored, and then Sammy Sosa's throw went into the White Sox dugout. This allowed Roberto Kelly to score. And watch as Kelly scored, he had some problems with the steps in the dugout as he slipped. Nonetheless, the Yankees tied up the game at 7 in the top of the fourth inning. But in the bottom of the fourth inning, the White Sox got the lead for good as they scored 4 runs. First, Frank Thomas had a ground ball to third base. Mike Blauss threw the ball away. On the play, Robin Ventura scored, and the White Sox led 8-7. An error for Blauer. The next batter was Dan Pasqua, and Pasqua had a ground ball right through the legs of Alvaro Espinosa. Colin Fisk scored, and the White Sox led 9-7. An error for Alvaro Espinosa. Then a single sac fly made the score 11-7. Then a little icing on the cake. Dan Pasqua's second home run of the game. Second of the season, a mammoth 2-run shot to right field off the scoreboard. And the White Sox led 13-8 in the bottom of the sixth inning, reaching their 14-9 win. Molito Perez got the win. He's 1-0. Eric Plum got the loss. He's 0-1.
The Lone Star State, the Texas Rangers taking on John McNamara and the Cleveland Indians. We go now to the bottom of the fourth inning. Base hit for Juan Gonzalez. Ruben Sierra scores. Here comes Julio Franco. He's out at the plate on a great block by Sandy Alomar Jr. And a nice throw by Albert Bell. Rangers lead it 1-0. Going now to the top of the fifth inning, Jeff Manto with this solo blast off of Scott Champerino. For Manto, it's his first home run of the season, and we're tied at 1 in the fifth inning. It remained that way until the bottom of the eighth inning. Juan Gonzalez, who just came back from his injury last night with a homer, tonight comes through with 3 runs batted in, 2 of them on this double into the left field corner. Scoring is Julio Franco and Kevin Reimer, and this gave the Rangers a 3-1 lead. For rookie Juan Gonzalez, a big start to the 1991 season. Then, just a few batters later in the bottom of the eighth inning still, Gary Pettis would take this pitch to right field off of Steve Olin. In to score is Juan Gonzalez, and it's a 4-1 baseball game. In the ninth inning, the Rangers would call on Jeff Russell to get the final out with a man on first base. He gets Brooke Jacoby to fly to right field to end the ball game. The winner is Mike Jeffcoat. He's 1-0. The loser, Steve Olin, 2-1. Russell is 4th save. The Rangers defeat the Indians 4-1. Atlanta Braves. And in the bottom of the first inning, it's Craig Biggio here with the sacrifice fly to right field. Dave Justice comes up throwing, but Steve Finley scores easily, and the Astros take a 1-0 lead. Meanwhile, Pete Harnisch was brilliant for the Astros tonight. Here in the top of the sixth inning, he will strike out Terry Pendleton with a vicious hook. Harnisch goes 8 innings, strikes out 7, but unfortunately, he does not get the decision, because in the top of the ninth inning, with Deion Sanders leading off first base, and 2 men out, and Jeff Treadway the batter, Treadway lines this pitch to right center field. Steve Finley cuts it off, but loses sight of the ball. Deion Sanders will come all the way around to score the tying run. Jeff Treadway winds up on third base with a triple, and the Braves have tied this game at 1 apiece. We go now to the bottom of the ninth inning. Steve Finley leading it off, trying to get something going, and he will lay down a beautiful drag bunt. But Jeff Treadway comes out of nowhere, and as he's falling down, barehand throw to Sid Bream, he gets him. Jeff Treadway, the star of the game so far. We go now to the top of the 13th inning, all tied at 1, and it's Francisco Cabrera versus Jim Corsi with Tom Glavine at second base. Cabrera with the bloop single to center field. Here comes Tom Glavine. Here comes the throw. It's cut off. Cabrera is out at second base, but he gets the job done, singling in Tom Glavine with the lead run. The Braves lead it 2-1. Bottom of the 13th, first and second now, 2 out, and Jeff Parrott gets Casey Candel to pop to Jeff Blouse to end this ball game. Doug Sisk is the winner. He's 2-0. Jim Corsi the loss, 0-2. Jeff Parrott, his first save.
The Phillies took on the San Diego Padres, and at the top of the first inning, Philadelphia starter Danny Cox was making his first start since 1988. Struck out Fred McGriff looking to end the top of the first inning. But in the top of the third inning, Danny Cox gave a solo home run to Padres starter Andy Bennis, and the Padres led 1-0 on Andy Bennis' first home run of the season. Then in the bottom of the sixth inning, the Phillies tied up the game on an RBI single by John Kruk. Then at the top of the ninth inning, Padres went ahead when Benito Santiago hit a high chop single. Ronald McDowell fielded it. Santiago was safe and on the play. Tony Gwynn scored, and the Padres led 2-1 at the top of the ninth inning. But with 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth inning, Wally Backman topped the game as he had a ground ball up the middle. Bill Roberts with a nice stop. He couldn't make the play, and Rob Booker scored, and the game was tied at 2. Game went into extra innings. In the top of the 12th inning, Paul Farris with a single up the middle, and then Dykstra overran the ball. Michael Andretti scored, and Farris ended up on third base with a single and a two-base error, and the Padres led 3-2 in the top of the 12th inning. But in the bottom of the 12th inning, the Phillies came back. First, John Kruk with the second RBI of the game, a line drive single up the middle. Then Dykstra scored, RBI number 16 for Kruk, and the game was tied at 3. The next batter was Booker, and Booker won the game for the Phillies as he grounded a single right field. Von Hayes scored ahead of Tony Gwynn's throw home, and the Phillies won 4-3 in 12 innings. Darren Ackerfeld's got the win. He's 1-1. Mike Maddox got the loss. He drops to 2-1. Once again, the Phillies scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 12th inning to win 4-3 over San Diego.
Injured Bird on the field early in the game, and in the top of the third inning, Billy Ripken with this nice diving stop on Jim Gantner's ground ball. Still in the top of the third, Randy Milligan has some trouble. Things don't go as well for him. He drops this wind-blown pop-up. Gary Sheffield makes his way to second base, and then he heads back to first as he thinks Milligan will make the play. But Milligan drops the ball. Sheffield is forced out at second base. Don August gave up 1 run on 4 hits over 6 1/3 innings to gain the win. He improved to 1-2. He didn't walk a batter and struck out 4 as he won for the first time since September 23rd, 1989. There in the bottom of the 4th, he struck out Dwight Evans. In the top of the 7th with 1 out, Paul Molitor with a single to left field. Joe Orsulak throws home, and he gets B.J. Surhoff clearly. Bob Melvin with the tag. But still in the top of the 7th with 2 outs, Jim Gantner connects for a double to right center field off of Jeff Robinson for the Baltimore Orioles. Bill Spires and Paul Molitor both scoring RBI 6 and 7 for Gantner, and the Brewers lead 2-0. In the bottom of the 7th inning, Baltimore gets a run back. Cal Ripken breaks an 0-for-9 slump as he connects for his 5th home run of the season. This one's a solo shot to left field that makes it 2-1 Milwaukee. But in the top of the 9th, Milwaukee with 3 runs to break the game open. With 2 outs, it's Gary Sheffield at the plate for the Brewers. He hits a chopper to third base. Craig Worthington with the play. B.J. Surhoff scoring, and Worthington's throw to first pulls Randy Milligan off the bag. Paul Molitor slides home to make it 4-1 Brewers. Milwaukee takes it by the final of 5-2. Jeff Robinson takes the loss. He falls to 1-2.
Full moon is out tonight at St. Louis as the Cardinals take on the Montreal Expos. And in the top of the 3rd inning with no score, Dave Martinez with his single to center field. Ray Langford gets it on the short hop. In to score is Gilberto Reyes, and the Expos lead it 1-0. Going now to the bottom of the 3rd inning, Pedro Guerrero will come through with this base hit to right field. This scores Ozzie Smith, and we are tied at 1. Larry Walker comes up throwing. Ray Langford, though, is safe at third base. We go now to the bottom of the 4th inning. Jose Oquendo will hit into this 6-4-3 double play, but Todd Zeal scores the go-ahead run, and the Cardinals lead it 2-1. Ken Hill pitched a good ball game for the St. Louis Cardinals as he goes 6 innings to get the victory. He now moves to 2-1. Here he gets Dave Martinez to fly to left fielder Bernard Gilkey to end the top of the 5th inning. Hill goes 6 innings, gives up 4 hits, 1 run, walks 3, and strikes out 1 for the victory. Lee Smith came on in the 9th inning to get the save. Smith will get Delino DeShields to ground to second baseman Jose Oquendo to end it. The Cardinals defeat the Expos 2-1 as the Expos tailspin continues. The winner Ken Hill 2-1, the loser Rick Mala 1-2, save to Lee Smith his 7th. The Expos have now lost 7 games in a row. The lineup as he tries to break Lou Brock's stolen base record. But in the top of the 1st inning, Dave Winfield with the RBI single to left field Dick Schofield scores, and the Angels lead it 1-0. Then Dave Parker with a grounder to first base. McGuire knocks it down. Wally Joyner will score from second base, and he gives the California Angels a 2-0 lead. Going now to the bottom of the first inning. Ricky Henderson got out, but the A's still score. Here, Terry Steinbach with the double to the left field wall. Canseco scores from third. Dave Henderson scores all the way from first base, and we are tied at 2. Then it's Mark McGuire with a single to left field. Terry Steinbach will come in to score. For McGuire, only his second RBI in 58 at-bats, and the A's led it 3-2. With the A's leading it 4-2 after a sac fly by Terry Steinbach, Lance Barish hit this pinch hit single to center field that scored Jack Howell in the top of the 7th inning, and this made the score 4-3 Oakland. Then to the top of the 8th inning, tying run on second base, 2 out. Dave Parker grounded to short. Manrique picks up, slipping, falling throw. Mark McGuire with a great scoop gets Dave Parker and saves the tying run. We go now to the top of the 9th inning. Dennis Eckersley on in relief. He will get Jack Howell a fly to center field to end this ball game. The A's hold on to defeat the Angels 4-3. The winner, Mike Morris, 3-0. Eckersley, his 7th save.
Giants on Saturday evening. We pick up action in the bottom of the first inning. Runners on first and second. Eddie Murray with the little chopper. Kelly Downs throws the ball away at first base. This allows LA's Darryl Strawberry to come home and score. The Dodgers take a 1-0 lead. Murray makes his way into second base. It's 1-0 Los Angeles after 1 inning of play. Later in the game, umpire Bruce Breming walks over to the camera box. He wants the monitor turned away from San Francisco's Dusty Baker in the dugout. LA's manager Tommy Lasorda gets a chuckle out of this as Bruce Breming turns the monitor away from Dusty Baker, who isn't very happy with the move. In the top of the 5th inning with 1 out, Bobby Ojeda on the mound, and Willie McGee connects for a 2-run home run to left field. His first of the season. It comes with Robbie Thompson on board. The Giants take a 2-1 lead. In the top of the 7th inning with 1 out, Will Clark adds to the Giants' lead with a single to right field. Robbie Thompson scoring. It's 3-1 San Francisco. Clark bringing his RBI total on the young season to 21. We move now to the top of the 9th. John Candelaria on the mound now for the Los Angeles Dodgers. With 1 out in the top half of the 9th, Mike Felder with the ground ball down the third base line, and Lenny Harris comes up with this nice diving stop, but he throws the ball away at first base out of the reach of Eddie Murray. Mike Kingery comes in to score, and the Giants lead by the score of 4-2. In the bottom of the 9th, LA makes a go of it with